Is America facing a crisis or a challenge at the border?
When you were talking a moment ago about diplomatic negotiations between the United States and Mexico, you said crisis on the border. Was that a
challenges on the border? Challenges on the border. Challenges on the border. Dealing with the crisis on the border.
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. Let's get into this. Meanwhile, as the Biden administration continues to refer to the border crisis as merely a challenge, Border Patrol agents are struggling to provide adequate care for the enormous surge in illegal aliens and unaccompanied minors. Today, we're going to discuss the tremendous uptick in illegal immigration and how the Biden administration may be contributing to it by way of sending mixed signals.
Así que yo creo que es muy importante subrayar el caso que la frontera no está cerrada.
A few moments later.
The border is not open.
Another crucial element of the story is how immigration is affecting Black urban communities first. In order to better understand what started this monstrosity, we must discuss the Flores Settlement Agreement, which is standards for detention, release, and treatment of minors while in NIS custody. 1997, there was an agreement established between the immigration activists and the Clinton administration on child detainees at the border. There goes our Uncle Sam sticking his nose where it ought not to be. This agreement has since expanded to include more people, according to the Center for Immigration Studies.org.
In the year 2015,
a California district judge named Dolly G decided that the Flores Agreement covers both unaccompanied and accompanied children. The judge said that all migrants, unaccompanied, accompanied, or not, have to be released from HHS custody within 20 days. That's 3 weeks, bruh. Perhaps that was what provided the impetus of what's happening right now. This decision was then reaffirmed by the Ninth Circuit Court. It also helps explain why the number of illegal aliens claiming credible fear, which is the very first step of the asylum claim process, rose to 67% in 2018. The damn Flores Agreement provided the loophole. According to Priscilla Alvarez, CNN reporter, there are more than 5,000 unaccompanied children in U.S. Customs and Border Protection custody. Say what? What about those soft-sided facilities the Biden administration is creating? What about those soft-sided facilities?
A stranger from the outside.
Let's see what Mark Morgan, former Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner, has to say.
The reason why those soft-sided facilities, the tents, have to be created is because we are shepherding a new era where the United States government is encouraging, incentivizing, and facilitating illegal migration. So of course the numbers are going up. Right now they're seeing over 300 unaccompanied minors a day. That we haven't seen those numbers since the height of the crisis in 2019.
Open border strategies. Seems like to me, if we don't start applying consequences to illegal behavior, it's only going to beget more illegal behavior. So imagine this. If you're a migrant and you hear capricious language like this.
Coincidence that as soon as Trump and his immigration policy were on the way out and Biden and his stated policy were on the way in, this historic surge at the border started?
Well, first of all, one of the things I think is important is we've seen surges before. Surges tend to respond to hope. And there was a significant hope for a more humane policy.
Or like this.
We should not be locking people up. We should be making sure we change the circumstance, as we did, why they would leave in the first place. And those who come seeking asylum, we should immediately have the capacity to absorb them, keep them safe until they can be heard.
And let's definitely not forget about this.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
It's not a mere coincidence that there's such an influx at the border, right? Furthermore, Illegal immigration has a devastating impact on employment rates and wages. When you have an oversupply of labor, the price of labor is going to be depressed. With black males being disproportionately concentrated in lower skilled markets, within the last 20 years, the bulk of our immigration, both legal and illegal, has been on the low skilled side.
Come on, Frankie.
This has a particularly large impact for blacks that fall within that cohort. It also has an effect on black females as well, pertaining to county facility services, healthcare, and it adds already more pressure to the derelict public school system. Hundreds and thousands of blacks are losing their jobs trying to compete with illegal immigrants. While your wonderful Congressional Black Caucus and these extraordinarily brilliant black Democrats embrace these open border policies.
We want to be sure that the people we represent, those who come from underserved countries, poor countries, are included in the bill. That was the extent of our discussion about the immigration bill.
A Harvard professor of economics, Dr. Gordon Hanson, and his co-authors examined U.S. census data from 1960 to 2000 and found a strong corollary between immigration, employment, and incarceration rates for blacks. His research suggests that a 10% immigrant-induced increase in the labor supply is associated with a 4% decrease in black wages, a 3% decrease in black employment rate, and a 0.8% increase in black incarceration rates. And this correlation held true in both state and national level data, bro. This same data shows that the effect of immigration on white men also produced a 4.1 decrease in wages, but it had less effect on employment and incarceration rates for white men. Black men lost proportionally more jobs and disproportionately increased in incarceration rates. So with all that being said, are we facing a crisis or a challenge at the border? Leave a comment below. Let me know. You know, it's a sad day when the political imperative of playing identity politics has totally trumped the desire to protect their own constituents.
Are you thinking of going to the border?
At some point I will, yes.
Do you want to see firsthand what's going on in those facilities?
I know what's going on in those facilities.
Do you have plans to visit the border?
Not today. But I have before, and I'm sure I will again.
Bruh. And just a little food for thought for those of you who think the Democrats aren't playing identity politics here. Check out this article showing the Latino voters being the largest minority voting group in 2020. That's it for the video. Smash that like button, leave a comment.